are here with my friend Olivia. Olivia is a modern day witch, and she's going to tell us all about what it's like living as a witch in this day and age, what brought her to witchcraft, what she does in her practice, all the good stuff. So we are super excited to have her here with us. Hey there, Olivia. How are you?
Oh, so good. Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting.
You're welcome. I'm super glad that you could take the time to do this with us today. I know you've got lots of great things to share with everyone to kind of help people see that witchcraft really is for everybody. And that's our purpose here, is to allow people to see who we are and understand that anybody can practice witchcraft if it speaks to them. Okay, so Olivia, why don't you tell us about how you got started in witchcraft? How old you were, what really drew you to wanting to learn and have your own practice in witchcraft?
So this is such a loaded question, and people ask me all the time, like, how long have you been practicing? And really, I feel that I've always practiced. Even as a child, I would do things and I felt things. And as I grew older and I grew into my practice, I was like, wow, that's what that's called. Like, I've been doing that forever, having no idea. I remember being a child, making sigils and feeling like if I really concentrated on something, like I could manifest it or make it happen, and even doing like Reiki and stuff. I used to imagine like white light and I would fill myself up with it like before I went to sleep at night. I had no idea what I was doing. It just felt like the natural thing to do. It was something that I enjoyed, something that I felt connected to. And as I got older and I did more research and I learned what it was that I was doing, I was like, wow, like this has really been with me my entire life. So to answer your question, I think I was in early college, maybe late high school, the first time I called myself a witch. And I don't know if you remember the first time you called yourself a witch. That is a special moment. You are never, for me, I was never more powerful than I was in that moment when I just owned it. And I could truly feel who I was and what my purpose was. And I felt connected to that divine feminine energy. I felt connected to the spirit. And I felt connected to myself, my highest purpose. So I know it's not a straightforward answer, but
No, it's perfect. I love it because I feel very much the same way. And I think that probably resonates with a lot of people, that most witches will say something similar, because it does seem to be kind of born into us. We're just this way naturally. And I can remember, as a kid, I was the same. I dabbled in all kinds of stuff, a lot of it not even knowingly. And then when I did get my first book about witchcraft, I was like 13, and I hid it because I was so afraid of what people would say, of getting in trouble, so it was very much a secret kind of, it was, taboo thing. I thought, oh, for sure they'll think I'm a devil worshiper or something, you know what I mean? And so it was very hidden for a long time. And it wasn't until just a few years ago that I actually did call myself a witch for the first time out loud to other people. And you're right, I agree 100%. It was very empowering. It felt like home, so
yeah.
it was really good. It was really a neat thing. How did your friends and family react? What was the general response, or have you had any kind of, kickback or anything from anyone?
I don't think anybody was surprised.
Yeah.
Especially when I started getting into more uniform practice, and I was posting about it and talking about it. I'd always been kind of weird. but very, very kind, very intentional. And I think that the people in my life kind of saw that as a natural path, and nobody has ever said anything necessarily hurtful to me about it or anything like that. Everyone's been supportive or inquisitive, or they're like, they don't know what to say, so they just don't.
Yeah. That's great though. That's really great that they have been supportive. I love that. I had a friend of mine from high school that I saw for the first time in a long time. She said to me, you know, if I had seen anybody else doing this after, you know, some of my Facebook posts and stuff, I would have thought they were crazy. But when I saw you doing it, I was like, of course, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I completely understand that. Do you have a coven that you work with? Are you a solitary witch? What do you know, how do you prefer to practice?
I am a solitary witch. I practice almost completely alone, even doing spirit work. I will do it for friends and family and other people, but I'm very private in my practice. Like, this is my altar behind me, and even my boyfriend knows, like, don't touch it. Don't touch anything over here. This is my space. Like, and everyone's very respectful of that. But I practice very, very much in my own privacy and my own peace.
Yeah, yeah. I think, you know, I have done a few things with other groups of women, and I've enjoyed it, but it's mostly been like healing circles and things like that. Other than that, I pretty much do it on my own as well. And you know, I think a lot of that is even just kind of a time and convenience thing, you know?
Yeah.
With busy lives and everything, it can be hard to make the time to constantly get together with people, and being able to have our practice as part of our daily lives is important. And so I think that it can be a lot easier sometimes to do the solitary thing or do kind of a mashup of both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. So is there any particular, you know, there are different kinds of witches. Is there any particular type or style of witchcraft that you really identify with?
As we talk a bit more about my practice, I think this will make more sense to me, but maybe you'll understand. It's like I've kind of dabbled in a little bit of everything, but everything is just kind of as it comes to me. I go through phases. Like, I went through a huge tarot phase for a long time, and recently, like, I bought a new deck, and I haven't even opened it. It's been like 6 months. So I go through tons of different stuff. I think right now I'm in a big like green witch phase, or just like home style witch. Lots of, you know, intentional cooking, gardening, you know, being outside, things like that. So I'm in a green witch phase kind of right now, but that changes. I might tell you something different in 6 months.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. Okay, great. So what about as you have gone along over the years, how do you continue to learn and grow and expand as a witch? Do you like to read books, or do you have a mentor you like to work with, or what is your preferred method of continuing your knowledge?
So people ask me this all the time too, especially people that are just getting started. And it's like, you know, magic and witchcraft, it starts with you. You are the witch. You are the magical entity, you know, and you were born with everything you need to be a witch. All of that knowledge that you know, you grow to unlock and harness and, you know, put into practice. But I think, you know, I do have books. I have talked to people. I've been in Facebook groups. I've had practicing friends, but I tend to learn a little bit and then kind of like pull back, practice it, incorporate with what works, and then just forget the rest. Because at the end of the day, this is my practice, and the more authentic it is to me, the better it feels when I'm pushing myself to do something that just doesn't resonate with me. I mean, what am I even doing it for?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that that's really how my practice has grown. Kind of dabble. If it works for me, great. If it doesn't, move on. I like to really study the culture of witchcraft among, you know, many cultures, and maybe even participate in groups and conversations that I'll never actually practice, but just learn about it and you know, find ways that I can contribute, even if I don't practice that specific thing or with that specific group, and just kind of move it along after that.
Yeah, that's really neat. I like that idea very much of learning what you can and adapting it to what feels right to you, because it is such a personal thing, your practice, you know, and so that's really important for people to know and understand, that you don't have to adhere to what other people do. You know, it's absolutely okay to take things here and there and pull them all together and make it what you want from it, what feels good to your soul and to your you know, inner power and everything. So that's really awesome. Okay, let's see. So what about, do you feel like you have, that you are psychic or have any other kind of special gifts, any mediumship, anything along those lines?
I do practice mediumship, pendulum. Funny, I meant to bring my pendulum and they ran away from me. I have them for a little while and one day they're just gone. I don't know why. I've gone through so many and my pendulum, it ran away from me. So yeah, I do some mediumship through pendulum. I do some automatic writing sometimes. I think everyone is a little bit psychic.
Yeah.
You tap into that intuition. I'm not going to sit here and say I can read your future or I know what's going to happen or how many kids you're going to have or when your dad's going to die. I don't. And I'm not even convinced that anybody actually does. But I do know that when spirit speaks to me and when I feel it in my heart and in my soul and in my gut, that I'm right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. It's interesting. And I think that you're right. I think everybody has it within them. It's just a matter of unlocking it. For some people, they're born with it unlocked and it just never closes up. And for others, I feel like that they, you know, as they get older, more blocks are put up, and so it becomes harder to connect with that. But they, you know, if people really do take the time to work on opening, you know, through meditation and things like that, that it is possible for everyone to connect with it a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what is your go-to for like keeping yourself grounded, cleansing yourself in your space, and making sure that you're in, you know, top performance condition for doing magic?
So like I said, I have my space, right? And these are just my spiritual tools. I have my spiritual book. I have my spiritual pencil. I have everything that is just meant for this, so that when I need to unplug and get away from the hecticness that's my life, you know, I'm a single mom, I run my own business, I manage my own household. I have a crazy busy life. So when I need to unplug, this is always here exactly the way that I left it, no matter what else is going on. And I can, you know, cast that circle and be in this space and in this moment without dealing with everything else. So that's how I keep, you know, this part of my life grounded. And then I try to take that piece and take that, you know, that organization and just kind of branch it out into the rest of my life and figure out how I can incorporate it, you know?
Yeah. Kind of gives you that central spot where you can come together.
Mm-hmm.
That makes absolute sense. Okay, so also then, do you have any favorite go-to spells or rituals that you do regularly that have just kind of become a regular part of your life and your routine, to do them every so often because you really feel that they're very powerful for you and they add a lot to your life?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. This is kind of a two-part answer, because as far as, you know, as rituals go, yes, like I love doing like 30-day intention setting with like moon cycles. That's super fun, and just following that, you know, throughout the entire moon phase. I do a lot of shadow work where you dig deep, and that's not always pretty, but I do have a ritual that I do for that. And I do that, you know, as often as I can, because everybody needs to.
Yeah, truly. And that's what helps clear out the crap so then you can manifest the things that you really want in your life. So yeah.
Beyond that, though, I think that people get caught up when they think of rituals, they think of spell work, they think that it has to be this big drawn out thing, that you have to have so much for it. And really you don't. When you think of what magic is, what witchcraft is energy behind intent. So what telling somebody they have a beautiful smile and watching their face light up is a spell. You put your energy and your intention into this person, and look at them, look at the way they transformed. Having an awful day and then coming home and taking a bubble bath and chugging some water and taking extra care to clean your skin, like that's a self-care ritual right there. It doesn't have to be dressed up herbs, candle magic, whatever. It can just be whatever your intention is and the energy you put into that. So being mindful of what you do, what you say, how you treat your body, how you treat the earth, that's all witchcraft. That's magic, that's healing. So I try to practice mindfulness and do that as much as I can.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. All right. So I guess the last one is advice for new witches that are just getting started, or witches who are feeling like they've kind of gone off their path but are wanting to kind of, come back in. What would you say? Or just for people who are curious and are just trying to learn about witchcraft and are looking for some other are just kind of discontent with what they've been doing spiritually or religiously and want something, are looking at their options.
So, that's a great question. And I think it's a question that we need to be more realistic and more honest about, honest with people about. And that is that I have all of this stuff, I have my tarot cards, my books, my crystals, my essential oils, and my book of shadows and candles and everything. And I don't need any of it. And neither does anybody. I don't even use a lot of this stuff most of the time. Especially on social media and witch talk and all of these things, it becomes a popularity contest. It becomes an aesthetic. It becomes expensive, and you don't need any of those things. You are born with it, and like I said, that first day you call yourself a witch, like that is the day that you have harnessed your power. So you have all you need. So don't let it be overwhelming to you. Just feel it. Sit with yourself. Sit with spirit. Sit with your highest power. Feel what it is that calls you, and just do that. And you're going to learn so much more along the way. But you don't have to memorize a tarot guidebook. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. You are the witch. You make the rules. And it shouldn't be overwhelming. It should be a journey that you're always on. And you and I have been practicing for a long time, and there are things that I forget or set me back to day one. So it's just like, I don't know. I yell at people because they're like, "Oh, I'm a baby witch," and I'm like, "Don't you talk about your power like that? Don't ever say that about you. Why are you already giving up on yourself? No, you better say that with your chest, because you are, and everything else is going to come in time."
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that it's also really important for people to know and understand that witchcraft is a practice, not a religion. And so, there are witches from all walks of life, all religious backgrounds. And that's the thing that's so beautiful about it, is that it is about love and nature and energy and being connected. And I feel like there's so much disconnect in the world today, and there's so much judgment and hate, and witchcraft is coming to your own developing your own personal relationship with witchcraft and your own practice, it, I know at least for me personally, it has really allowed me to explore my own beliefs as far as spirituality goes, and my own relationship with being a spiritual person on my own terms, instead of feeling like I have to be a certain way or believe something. You know what I mean? It's really given me the freedom to feel connected and spiritual in a way that feels really good and right to me. And yeah, so I think that that's a really good thing.
I've said it a million times. If I wanted to follow rules, I'd be a Christian. I'm sorry for Christians watching. That's on you. You know what I mean? But I agree. It's also why I'm not Wiccan. I don't subscribe to any religion. It's just this is practice, my power, my connection to spirit, in the way that I harness my own energy and worship my high self first and foremost. So
that's beautiful. That's wonderful. Yeah. I feel the exact same. Like I have said that I believe in God. I believe in a higher power, absolutely, but I don't prescribe to the human version of Christianity, like I don't really agree with a lot of the ways that things have kind of been twisted and molded to fit certain things. So
you know what I've found with talking to anybody in any religion, if you just put your ego down and you take a step back and you listen to the concepts, what they're saying, we're all talking about the same thing. We call it something different, but we are all talking about the same thing.
Yes.
So
across the board.
Why is there any conflict over it? We all want the same things out of this, So
it's when the people get in there. It's like if you break each one down to the basic, to the root of it, it's all about this higher power, this connection of love, this, come together. And every single religion basically that you can think of the major ones out there, and then it's when people get involved and start oh no, it needs to be like this, and it has to be this, and this, that's when things get all goofy and everything. But the root of it all is the same, and it's beautiful, and that's what's so special about witchcraft, is that you are free to believe what you want to believe and practice how you want to practice. And I just love that.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness.
There was one thing I wanted to share. So I do a lot of sigil drawing, right? That's especially when I need like a creative outlet. So before this conversation, I sat down and I said, what is my intention going into this interview? I do that a lot. And the things that just kind of came to me was empowering, guiding, and protecting. I think that is three things that mean a lot to me, just kind of within the whole collective, within my spirituality. It was what drove me to do this. So I made a sigil, kind of just setting that intention in, and I wanted to show you.
Yes.
Show everybody. I've had it sitting with me. I've been looking at it, but it's right here. And really, it really resonated with me because it did a full circle, like on the grid, and then just had this tiny little sliver in here, and it just kind of looked kind of like a moon to me.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
And what that really spoke to me is that, when we come together and we are empowering each other and we're guiding each other and we're protecting each other, that is what makes us that complete whole, that's what makes us whole. And then this little sliver is just everybody doing their part. So thank you for allowing me to do mine and for doing yours. And anyone watching this, thank you for doing yours.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you so much for sitting with me and doing this. This
was wonderful.
I think I agree. I think it was, I love it. I'm so glad we got to do this. And I hope we can do some more stuff like this together soon so that we can, spread the word, spread the love.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. This is Olivia. We'll put her social media up for you guys so that you can find her and learn more. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.